go. So as high as you wanna go. Wise choices, you just have to choose. Wise choices, I know what you're going through. I know you can make it through. You know you got nothing to lose.
Well, when I went to Holy Heart, the girls were for it. They were saying, oh God, we got a girl mechanic in our class and all this, right? It was all around school, but I used to hate it. Because I just do it because it's a job. Everyone makes a big issue out of it. I don't think nothing of it. Like when I was growing up, I always went around with Dad. So when Dad had the graduates, I always hung out with Dad after school and on weekends. And so I just drifted into it more or less. Mom wasn't too fond of the idea at first. She was more or less saying, Mary, can you find something else? You're going to get yourself sick at this. But now she accepts the idea and she says, go for it. Whatever makes you happy. So Dad said, you know, best thing to do is get you to go to trade school. And I never thought nothing of it. That's a shagging. I mean, I'm in the garage all the time. What do I need a certificate for? People go to you if you got a certificate more or less than if you didn't. Especially now with all the fuel injection and turbo and everything in today, that you need to go to seminars and go back to school. So it's continuous school if you're going into this line of work. Well, the trade's got a new course out there now. It's a 4-year course actually, and more or less it's more physics and math. So if you want to go into mechanics today, usually it was grade 10, but now I say you need your grade 12, and plus a lot of physics and science and math, because the cars today more or less you just use machines to figure out what's wrong with the car. It's not so much your brain anymore. You got to know how to use the machines. When I went through, there was no females. There was only me and the men. And there's usually 10 of us in the class. And the age, usually I was the youngest. And men, late 20s, early 30s. And there's always one or two of them who didn't appreciate me being there, but they're the ones that end up failing at the end of the course. So it's not who you are, more or less, it's how to do it. I usually work with my father and my husband, and Greg has a heavy equipment garage, and Dad's more or less light trucks and cars. All the time there's heavy equipment trucks around, and I love driving them. That's a challenge for me. Anything I can get behind drive, I do it.
Morning.
Hi.
Got a bit of a problem here. I can't get a thing out of this thing this morning for some reason or another.
It's all right. I'll bring it back to the garage.
Okay, you got any guys with you or anything?
No,
Give you a hand?
Just myself.
You take it in yourself?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
No problem.
Yeah, all right.
Thank you. At the garage, usually my complaints are from women. They don't think I can do the work. So I just say, well, boys, if you want your car fixed or whatever, I can do it. And if there's any problems, just bring her back. And there's usually no problems, so I don't hear no complaints afterwards. Well, in my spare time, I do modelling. I've been at that almost 3 years now. So it's different. It's more or less I'm dressed up in work boots and coveralls all day long, and night time in high heels and skirts. You know, it's two different me, right?
Doctor, a lawyer, that's what Dad wants me to be. But I want something different now. What's it gonna be? Just because Mom's a nurse doesn't mean that I can do that. Jack's the brains of the family, so pharmaceuticals aren't worth that. The world seems to revolve around computer technology. The math, science, and physics, yuck, what do they mean to me?
You don't go in to the engineering faculty knowing when you drive along by a construction site, well, I know what they're doing now. They develop that for you. You learn.
When I went in engineering, no, I didn't know what engineering was about. I went into it with a vague idea. But until I was probably halfway through the system, I didn't really have a feel for it. One of the main influencing factors that caused me to go into engineering was the fact that my sister had already been in engineering for 2 years before I entered the program. Yvette influenced me greatly. She gave me a lot of confidence. She helped me along the way, even as much as going through my exam material the night before and helping me because I had fears that I wasn't going to make it or something. It's not an easy program. One has to be determined that they're going to do it. And it's certainly helpful if you have somebody there that you can at least voice your fears to and have them say, well, yeah, I went through it as well, but it's okay, you will make it.
I'm really glad you can make it out there, Faye. You were having a big problem with the windows.
One thing I learned when I was in the engineering program is the diversity in engineering. There's no limit to what one can do when one has an engineering degree. I chose civil engineering and have gone along the route of a structural designer. I've had the opportunity as an undergraduate to work on an oil rig in Alberta, in a university lab in Ottawa, and as a consultant I had the opportunity to work in France in a project office. The possibilities are endless. For the job I have now with Newfoundland Design Associates, I went through a period of over 10 months going for the job before I actually obtained it.
We were looking for someone who had some experience in structural analysis and global forces related to offshore structures. And Sadie had some of that experience, especially the latter, in working with mobile.
Eventually, after about 10 months of doing this and just keeping in contact with them, they decided to hire me, and actually became their first female engineer they've ever hired.
She's a very bright girl, and she has pursued the interest that she had, and obviously she's found no serious obstacles.
My day as an engineer is generally in the office, at my desk or at the computer doing design work and consulting with the other engineers in the office, and a small amount in the field.
Sadie, do you have a minute to look at the Windsor Lake drawings?
Sure. In the undergraduate program, there were many opportunities and many times when you had to work in a group. And this was very good because you were learning new things, you were uncertain about them, and it gave you the opportunity to bounce your ideas off other people. And it was a good preparation because in real life, when you're out, that's what you do most of the time. You are constantly bouncing your ideas off other people. You're never there by yourself as such. When I went to university, I didn't have any physics background, and I knew that to do engineering, I had to have physics. The reason I didn't do physics in high school was I thought it was what the smart people did. I just took the physics. I didn't let it stand in my way. It's just a matter of I had to do it, and the course is offered in university. I'd recommend anybody to do physics. It's not a hard science to do, but hindsight is 20/20. Being a full-time engineer, my days are quite busy, but I still get time to do many leisure activities. I like to cook, and I like to sew, listen to music. I'm involved in organizations outside of work. But right now I'm very, very busy with preparations for my wedding that's coming up soon.
The choices are all around me. Like, everybody's affected by the weather, right? What about meteorology? The elements are all there. The water, the fish. How about aquaculture? Oil slick? Dead fish? What about ecology? Shipping and navigation. Well, if I can't be on the land, I could always be a sea captain or a naval architect. Ship to shore. Air traffic controller? Who says I can't be a pilot? The sky's the limit.
I became interested in food technology when I was a grade 10 student. The College of Fisheries came to our high school, and they had like movies or videotapes or whatever, and they gave a presentation, and I said, gee, that food technology, that looks like a pretty good program. I'd like to do that. And that's when I decided, and I did.
So I went to see my guidance counselor because he had most of the information I needed, and he sat down with me and gave me brochures on all the different career choices at the different institutes offered in Newfoundland. So I decided by looking at the information that I wanted to do food technology at the Marine Institute.
When I left Port aux Basques to come to St. John's, it was a couple of days before college opened, and I left by myself, nobody else. There was nobody else in our community, I don't think, that went that year. And I really didn't know what to expect until I got there. And the one thing that really surprised me was that there were not very many females at registration.
When I first got into the Marine Institute, I was terrified actually, because we're talking probably 10 to 20 girls, 1,000 guys, and I found it a little intimidating at first. And then I decided, well, I was there to do a course, so put on my big brave face. And I just decided, well, okay, you're here now, you got to go to school.
I think it has been a definite advantage to have gone to a male-dominated college. One thing has helped me many times in my career because I'm working in a male-dominated environment. Therefore, by attending a college, you gain a lot of experience on how to handle yourself, what to expect, and it makes things a lot easier.
The course itself scared me a little at first because I looked in the calendar, the school calendar they publish, and it was like courses like food chemistry and biology and engineering and physics, and I had not done those previously in high school. But I decided that I could do it.
When I started food technology, the first year I was there, I didn't know a lot about product development. The program gives you the basics of food, the sciences, production and management, different fields and areas. And you use this background yourself when you start working.
When I graduated, I went to West Coast and I became employed at Bayside Seafood Limited. While there, I was responsible for researching and developing new products. So at first, I took the products they had already in place and expanded on them for the mainland market. Then they decided to go into some agricultural products. So I developed turnip greens, which are now in the supermarket, and I also started working on jams. Then I left the company and I went to work at the Marine Institute, and that's where I'm working right now, and I'm currently researching and developing a manual on smoking of fish.
About 2 years ago, I started working on new products for the Japanese market for fishery products. This is a very exciting project for me because the Japanese market, in my opinion, it's the ultimate, and it's very different from the North American or the European, and therefore it's quite challenging to develop products for that market. As a project manager, I'm a coordinator for the development of the products that will be marketed in Japan. By that I mean I participate in the planning, the scheduling, the development, right through until it's into production, shipped, it gets to Japan. So it's the whole scheme of the development of the product.
The course itself is not limited. Our course is food technology specializing in marine products, but we have graduates in all different fields of the food industry. We have a graduate working with the Liquor Corporation. He is the production manager. We have graduates working Newfoundland Farm Products. Graduates working Brookville Ice Cream, doing in the Quality Assurance Lab. Graduates working in fisheries. So you can basically come out and be most anything in the food industry, if it suits you.
Did you have any fish last week?
No, I'm pretty good last week.
I try and come out to Tongate every weekend that I can. Some weekends I have to work, so I don't get a chance to come home. And that's important to me because I like it home. I like coming home. The future as a food technologist, well, your guess is as good as mine because it's so diversified in what it offers in career choices that I could take any channel at all. It's 1 week I could be doing research and development, and then 6 months later I could be working on another manual like the one I'm working on now. And I like that because I'm only young, and right now I'm open to change.
I will be leaving Newfoundland in the near future, actually, and I'm moving out to Western Canada. I'm going to be getting married, but I'm still going to pursue my career, and I'm really looking forward to the opportunities in the food industry that await me there.
Mechanic, engineer, what do I want to be? There are lots and lots of avenues, be the best that you can be. Forestry, geology, they're not things that girls can do. They're elements of science in everything you do. There's so many options, I just gotta choose. There's so many choices, I'm just so confused.
I always had this kind of dream, I guess you could call it, to go into research. I finished off grade 11, I got married, had 2 kids, and then at 25, I found myself divorced with 2 kids that I had to support alone. So, taking my father's advice, I went back to school. I applied for the Med Lab program. I got accepted right away. I had been working full-time at Woolco at the time, but that was only for $4.25 an hour. And there's no way in the world that you can support 2 kids, pay rent and all the bills on $4.25 an hour. remember when I started the med-lab program, I can remember the first test I had, I got 33%. Kind of discouraging when you look at it, but I said, well, I'm not going to quit. I'm going to keep going. And the next one I did, I got 57. And I tried even harder. And being out for a long time, you kind of don't have much self-confidence. So I said, well, I can do it. I started this. I'm going to do it. And then the next exam I did, I got an 80. And I said, yeah, I can do it. As a lab technologist, the field is pretty well open for you. Since I've graduated, I've worked at St. Clair's, and I worked in blood bank hematology for 7 years. I found blood banking the most interesting because it allowed me to help save people's lives who were bleeding or going to surgery. I've recently moved down to microbiology lab. That basically is where you find all the bacteria that causes diseases in people. We grow them and identify them, and then find the antibiotics that are needed to fight the diseases. It was important for me to become educated because I had a choice. It was either social assistance or education, and I figured that education was my way out. I needed a way that I could support my kids, give them some kind of life, give myself some kind of life.
When Mom was attending college and doing her course that she was going in for, it got pretty hard. Like, she was doing it all based on her own, raising us, and she didn't have much money for us. And I remember getting about probably 50 cents a week, if we were lucky.
With my two kids, I stress the fact that they need their education. I don't think that they should quit. I want them to be the best that they can be, whatever it might be.
When I first started grade 12, I didn't really want to be in school at all. And the more my mother bugged me about going to school and getting good marks, the more I didn't want to do it.
And now she decided that she wasn't going to finish her grade 12 last year, so she left and got a job.
The time when I finally realized that I needed my education and good marks is when I got on my own and was more or less in the world and realized how hard it was to live on your own and not have a good education, even though my bills weren't as much as what Mom's was when she had 2 children.
And then take an average of the marks.
And now that the kids are kind of grown, I decided that I was going to go back and take some university courses. I'm presently doing education courses. I wanted something for me. Before, when I went and did the med-lab program, basically I did it because I needed the way to support the kids. But now this is for me. I enjoy it. I enjoy meeting new people. It's fun. I like to study now. I didn't when I was in high school, but I enjoy it now. I plan on later on going in for either a biochemistry degree or a chemistry degree, but that's going to take a few years from now because the kids still need me. Financially, they still need me. So when they're all grown up and I get my chance, I'm going to become a full-time student again. See you later.
See ya.
I know what it's like to be poor. I know what it's like to be on social assistance. I know how degraded you sometimes feel when you have to take basically handouts from other people, and how hard it is to break free of that kind of mold that you've put yourself in. You can break out of that mold and you can make something of yourself. You can soar as high as you want to go, and education will give you the freedom to go wherever you want to go.
Fly as high as you wanna go. Soar as high as you wanna go. Wise choices, you just have to choose. wise choices. I know what you're going through. You know you can make it through. You know you got nothing to lose.